Hello everyone, Darren here, and on today's video I would like to present a part 2 of my wish list of tanks I would like to see brought into the game. Now, before I begin, you may be wondering why am I making another one of these so quickly after I released part 1. This is an easy enough video to use to test Adobe Premiere Pro and get back into the software, so forgive me. I'm also working with some audio issues at the moment, so if I sound very odd, it's because I'm getting weird feedback and I'm still trying to work it out. Now anyway, before I begin, I would like to make it clear on a couple things. I do not care if any of the tanks I list are or going to be in multiple modes. I'm not obligated to purchase anything for a mode I don't play, so if they add 2 different versions, then more for everyone. Secondly, I will not be discussing any actual balancing. This is merely a wish list, and I will leave the balancing bridge for the devs to cross when or if they ever decide to any of these tanks. Now, that's pretty much it for my disclaimer. Let's get jumping into this list. Now, starting off from Australia, we have the Matilda Hedgehog. This was a project by the Australian government to attach a Hedgehog spigot mortar launcher onto a back of a tank. Technically, these would be an indirect weapon since they were used as an anti-submarine warfare weapon on ships, but knowing how much arty or arty-like things are disliked amongst the community, I would not mind if the Hedgehog is static and merely part of the model. If we kept the Hedgehog system static, I believe that this tank deserves to get a spot as a tier 4 or 5 premium tank. Moving on to my next tank on the list, coming out of Germany, where we have the VT1 series tank. This was a test bed for a potential turretless MBT to succeed the Leopard 1, but armed with 2 main guns. With a couple different guns tested on this chassis, depending on what guns are equipped to this tank, I do feel the VT1 would fit well as a double-barrel Tier 10 TD for Germany, or potentially Cold War Era 3's first true double-barrel tank. Moving to the Japanese tanks, we have the Chi-Ha LG, which stands for long gun. This tank is pretty simple. It's a Tier 4 Chi-Ha chassis mounting the same gun that the Ho-Ri 2 gets. It would be easier to think of this tank as a slower version of the Scorpion TD. Because of this, I believe this tank could find a home in Tier 7 as well, or even Tier 8, depending on how they want to balance it. The next tank on my list comes from Hungary, or however you want to pronounce it. Introducing the Zrinyi 1. I apologize if I butcher that name. I'm just going to call it the Zrin. Basically, this tank is armed with a 75mm gun and is a Stug copy, more or less, on a T21 chassis. So it would make sense to put this in the Czech tech tree at Tier 5 as another, quote, Czech TD. I do want to make special note of what appears to be rocket tubes on the side of this tank in the images. I know that many are not big fans of rockets. However, I do see the unique opportunity to have the first ever casemate TD have rockets, and the second ever World of Tanks Czech TD to boot. However, if they're non-functioning, I do not think it would be a big deal. Lastly, moving on to France, we have the AMX 10M. This is a unique French tank destroyer, as it was developed from the AMX 10P infantry fighting vehicle platform. And as much as I would love to have this as a Tier 10 tank destroyer, unfortunately, given the fact that it was part of the Accra project and is armed with a smoothbore 142mm gun that is capable of firing Gen 1 ATGMs, I do believe this tank would be better suited to the Cold War mode, specifically around Era 2 Tier 2. And there you have it, just another small snippet from my large list of tanks I'd like to see added to the game. I'd like to hear your thoughts on my list, and if you agree or disagree with any of these, or if you feel like I missed some, let me know. But if you enjoy this video, hit that thumbs up. And if you want to see more videos like this one, don't forget to subscribe. But until next time, this has been Darren of Watsy a Cat.